situation for the Russian military is far from ideal. And that's no joke. We're used to seeing large Russian armored columns on the battlefield. But more and more often, a very different picture is emerging. Reports and videos increasingly confirm that Russian forces are using civilian vehicles on the front lines. It has even come to the point where, in some cases, military commanders have given their soldiers actual live donkeys instead of armored vehicles or civilian cars. It's hard to believe, but you're about to see it for yourself. You'll see it all now in our video. Let's get started. In these shots, we see 4 military vehicles in motion and 2 already destroyed. Then, the kamikaze drone operator takes action. A direct hit, and the military vehicle immediately bursts into flames. As we can see, the Russian soldiers nearby panic and start running in different directions. The second strike lands with pinpoint accuracy on a more heavily armored vehicle. Then, the crew of the third vehicle decides to flee the scene immediately. But, as we all know, escaping from a kamikaze drone is extremely difficult. A Russian soldier jumping out of the vehicle, hoping to avoid the incoming drone, but chances are, it didn't save him. The vehicle crashes into the trees and burns. Finally, the drone operators finish the job, obliterating the remaining convoy with a massive explosion. In slow motion, it looks even more epic. Next, the Russian soldiers, in a panic, rush to board yet another completely unprotected assault vehicle. One that was once just a civilian car. But they are already in the sights of the kamikaze drone operator. They even try to shoot the drone down, but all their attempts are in vain. Only one of the 6 people in the vehicle survived. Next, Russian commanders ordered their soldiers to assault Ukrainian positions on motorcycles. In this video, you can see them practicing their upcoming attacks.
Отлично, змей, отлично отрабатываешь.
Motorcycles in military operations can be useful for small units that need to quickly navigate difficult terrain or operate in low visibility conditions. However, such actions carry high risks, as motorcyclists become easy targets for the enemy due to their vulnerability. Here's a clear example of how easily a motorcycle assault rider can be targeted by a kamikaze drone. Like a fiery racer from a movie, the motorcyclist speeds forward, leaving a trail of fire behind until they crash to the ground. After that, a second kamikaze drone destroyed another abandoned assault motorcycle. The assault troops then decided to switch to 4-wheeled vehicles, but these were also unarmored. The driver drops off the first group, which steps onto an anti-personnel mine, but they get lucky with only minor injuries. However, the first vehicle wasn't as fortunate, as it hit a mine with much greater force. Shrapnel hit everyone nearby. In slow motion, you can see how many shards fly off. After that, the soldiers retreat. The Russian soldiers continued their assault in makeshift vehicles. At this moment, they drive over a powerful anti-tank mine. The force of the explosion throws the driver to the height of a multi-story building. Another explosion on a powerful anti-tank mine. Just look at how monstrous the blast is. This is the kind of scene you can witness on the so-called death roads, which Russian assault troops drive into. All the equipment is destroyed to pieces. The legendary Bukanka continues the assault. but it gets hit by a kamikaze drone and catches fire. Most likely, the vehicle was carrying some kind of ammunition, which caused such a powerful explosion. Not far from this location, a military Ural was also destroyed. A bit later, another legend of the Russian auto industry, the Zhiguli, was also hit and easily destroyed. And here we see another group of assault troops on a heavy Soviet motorcycle. The mine detonates, sending them flying into the sky. And here comes the next column of assault troops, immediately attacked by FPV drones. One soldier falls from the vehicle upon impact, but the column keeps moving. After multiple strikes, the convoy comes to a halt, and the infantry begins jumping out and scattering in all directions. Two more light vehicles arrive to assist, but they are also destroyed. The infantry, now left without transport, is taken down as they attempt to flee. And here is a Russian Niva, a car commonly used by civilians. But in the harsh conditions of war and extreme weather, scenes like this become a common sight. And here is the same Niva, but with a reinforced engine, trying to escape from a kamikaze drone. People stand and watch as it makes a sharp turn and picks up speed. Moments later, a loud explosion echoes in the distance, and we can now see the aftermath of this chase. And this is what a drone chase looks like from a first-person view. The system signals the drone's approach, increasing the frequency of beeps. The speed is already high, and the Russian soldiers make the decision to abandon the vehicle and flee. And here are unique footage showing two Russian soldiers attempting to storm Ukrainian positions in a civilian car. The Ukrainians allowed them to get almost point blank to their trenches before suddenly emerging and opening fire on the vehicle. The soldiers tried to escape, but it didn't go well for them. After a heavy barrage of small arms fire, the assault team was eliminated. In open combat operations, using civilian vehicles is highly ineffective and extremely dangerous. They lack armor protection and become easy targets. A regular car offers almost no defense against small arms fire. Most vehicles aren't designed for combat and can be penetrated even by a handgun, let alone rifles or machine guns. Let's break down which parts of a car are the most vulnerable and which ones provide at least some protection. A civilian car is a terrible cover. If there's nowhere else to hide in a firefight, it's better to use the engine block for protection or get out and find cover in the terrain. In combat conditions, civilian cars turn into tin cans under fire, even from light small arms. Due to a lack of transportation in certain areas, commanders issued real donkeys to soldiers. It's hard to believe, but you can hear about it in this video.
Заебывай, пожалуйста, вопросами. Я сам не знаю, не просто вот услышал, потом сам увидел, охуел и все, и похуй. Просто прими это как данность, ладно? Не спрашивай, откуда, зачем, кто, для чего, как. Я не сразу. Но факт в том, что нам выдали ослика. Он во взводе обеспечения припаркованный. Вот ослик. Ваш хуй с транспортом. Уебан. Уралы горят? Горят. Вот, ослик. Возите на нем быка наперед.
Indeed, it's becoming more and more noticeable. Horses and even donkeys appearing on the front lines. It's quite surprising.
Вот так вот у нас красиво. Вот такая зима сейчас. Вот. О, здорово, мужики. Здорово, что как вы? О, это что у вас тут?
Это здорово.
Ой, бля.
Это зоопарк у нас.
Зоопарк? Это подвоз, да, теперь будет у нас?
Ну да, типа того, блядь.
Подвоз, бля.
Ну, блядь, вы ж в интернете видите, это вживую, нахуй.
Да.
И чё, для чего вы их туда тащите? Ну смех ебаный, что делают? Ладно, да, чё? Муха. А, это смех. Когда 21 века, будешь не фотографироваться?
Да ладно, не надо. Давай, давай. Вам тоже удачи. Тут не, у нас сами должны привезти, вот тоже зим без воды. Вот.
If the enemy's defense is poorly organized, using convoys can help quickly capture positions. However, this tactic comes with a high risk of losses since regular cars can't even withstand small arms fire. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments.